Welcome. I'm Danielle Sally.
And I'm Eva Fusa.
And you're listening to Ghost Boss, stories about the freelance afterlife. Hey, ghosties.
Hi.
Oh, nice one. We are starting off hot today.
I'm an agent of chaos already. It's just, hi, hello.
Eva joined the studio and I was like, why are we not recording this second? Because she came in, I thought I did something that got her heated. And I was like, I haven't done anything yet. No, she's mad at herself.
No, I am frustrated that I think the only time that's worse for us to record than a Monday morning is a Friday morning, but I picked this time. So I'm really only mad at me.
I agreed to it. No, I don't know if there's a great time for. Is there?
But then I feel real sassy right now. So then we're going to end up with this great episode.
We're going to record every Friday morning. At least it's a different sass than what gets produced on a Monday recording. Monday recording, it's kind of, it's frustration, it's depression. By Friday, it's chaos. So it's kind of humorous because we're just laughing that all of this is so crazy.
I'm ready for happy hour, and I bought a new dress yesterday, and I told myself I could buy a new dress if I did all my work and didn't order out for lunch for 2 or 3 days.
What was the result?
I did that, and then I bought the dress, and then I got the dress home, and I went to wash it, and I discovered it has pockets.
Even better.
I know, and so it's washed, and it's hung up in my bedroom, and it's the first thing I saw when I got up this morning. So we're recording, and then I have some other stuff to do, and I got to work, and I've got 2 meetings this afternoon.
Nice.
But I'm ready to go. So this is a very different kind of Monday morning. I'm like, ugh, and now I'm like, oh, can we make it snappy?
We just got to get this done now.
Can we hop to?
There we go. Well, let's get to it then.
Hi, hello, welcome. Yes. So today's episode, we had homework, and I didn't do my homework.
Per usual. And the best part, again, much like how you decided we're recording on Friday, you assigned the homework. Eva.
I did. You know what?
It's fine.
It's fine.
Well, do you want to remind people what the homework was?
So the homework, I don't know that we told them our homework, but the homework was this episode is about freelancing myths.
Yes.
And so we were supposed to, by my assignment, come back with 5 common myths or 5 things we get asked a lot. And the idea was that we would both come with the list. So then when we compared the list, neither one of us would necessarily be influenced by the other person's list. But then I didn't do my homework. And so I'm just going to start talking. And
and fair, confession.
Ooh.
I forgot about it until yesterday. I texted you about it because
you did
I
remind
had
me
about it, and I was like, if I forgot, surely you forgot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But instead of thinking with my own brain of questions, I went to Chat GPT and I said, hey, give me a bunch of questions. It gave me plenty. I did eliminate the ones that I don't get asked a lot. I kept the ones I did, and I can't even talk. I added one that I've gotten a couple times. Not so much a question, more of a statement, and it bothers me to my core. I might save it for the end because I will just say, as a female entrepreneur, it irritates me that it has been mentioned to me multiple times. So we'll leave it at that. Also, quick update. Eva, I feel so uncool saying this. I needed to give an update on this, but I'm still using Microsoft Edge.
Ew!
I said it.
I want you to know that somebody texted me about your Edge habits.
Do they use it or not?
No, they were gross, and I'm on your side, Eva. I was like, I know.
Listen,
I'm aware.
I'm
We
not
might
proud
vote
of
you off
it.
the island. I
I
don't
know.
know.
I think I'll have to throw away my designer card. I mean, I but I tell you what, they've made so many edits that it just feels exactly like Chrome now. Again, I even went back. I checked. I went to see, hey, is Chrome working yet? No. I just get a gray screen. So again, if you really hate that I'm using Edge, you will give me a solution of how to fix
I
Chrome
gave you a
on my Mac.
solution. Throw out your computer and start over.
Ugh,
I told you.
I
I
don't
told
well,
you.
I need a less expensive solution.
Okay. Well, I'm not I don't know if we've met, but I'm not really a less expensive solution type of gal. I usually come up with some high maintenance bougie answer.
Right?
So
Yeah. Your solutions I tend to not do.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I am
Oh,
not for
man.
everyone and my decisions are not for everyone, and that's
That's
okay.
fine. Oh my goodness. All
Okay.
right. Well, let's
Well,
get into these myths.
yes, one myth is that we know what browsers to use. Anyways, no,
Nope.
well, so you start I mean, I've got a couple, like, when we talked about it last week, I really
Oh,
did have a
sure.
couple that, like, always come to mind. So why don't you do one, and we'll just kinda
Okay.
bounce back and forth? Yeah, so why don't you start with one, and then I'm sure I'll come up with something.
Sure. So I think the one of the most common ones is that we just work whenever we feel like it. And
Oh,
we don't
huh,
have we don't have to do consistent hours, so we can just do whatever we want during the day
hmm,
and then just work whenever. And while there is truth to the fact that we do get to set our own schedules, I will say for me, and one of the first things I said when I was going to become a freelancer full time was I'm still going to have set hours
mm,
because the reality is my clients pretty much all have set hours and
yeah,
majority of them are still 8 to 6 is probably more realistic, but they're
yeah,
still all 9 to 5s. And I need to make sure that I'm working around their schedule because I know personally something that starts to frustrate people is if they hire a contractor and it's clear that they're doing this on the side or they're doing this in their free time because they need you during business hours, but
right,
yet you're not
right,
responding to them until your lunch break or 10 o'clock at night, and that
right,
can be frustrating. So,
right,
yes, there is truth that we can set our own schedule, obviously, but I
yeah,
still need to work pretty much normal business hours because of the clients that I work with.
yeah.
So,
I don't know that I've ever gotten I don't know that anybody's ever said that to me.
yeah,
No, I mean, they've said something, like, kind of in the vein of, like, "Oh, the flexibility must be nice," or whatever, but not like, you don't have a like, you don't work business hours. Because to your point, most of my clients need me during business hours. Not all of them.
exactly.
Some of them work,
Right.
like yeah, and then I have a lot of clients in different time zones, so their business hours are a little bit different, which is nice. Like, my client in Colorado, I'm like, "Oh, good, like, I could do your stuff last because 'cause you're not even up yet.
That's
Outstanding,"
right.
right?
Well,
Um,
and that
yeah.
same note, I feel like it's extremely important, especially as freelancers, to set those boundaries of when you work because I do think sometimes, and this doesn't just go for freelancers, this goes for anyone that has a job, but sometimes you'll have people who are contacting you super late or they're contacting you super early. I still think it's important to set the boundaries of when you work because people will get into the habit if they're emailing you at 11 o'clock at night and you are responding to them at 11 o'clock at night,
Yeah,
they're going to keep
yeah,
emailing you at 11 o'clock at
yeah.
night. So,
Yep,
and that's when I
yep.
always break out my please do a delayed send or a schedule send, whatever you want to call it. And just like, it doesn't matter if you're emailing them back at the time, make them think you didn't respond till 8 a.m. But
Yeah,
I think establishing your boundaries is just so extremely important because
yeah.
people, it's not that they're abusing it. That's too strong of a word, but they will just kind of get in the habit of
They'll
doing
rely
that
on
and you'll
it.
go
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. They'll rely on that in the timeline.
Yeah,
Some clients I'll delay send, some I don't. I have gotten a lot better. Like, I have not been working nights lately. I've
that's
been working
good.
really hard to, like, work kind of more traditional hours, and then I find I'm more productive the next day because I didn't stay up super late. And then I'm able to get up earlier and just be clearer headed for the day. So, one of the things that I get is, oh, so you just like make like t-shirts and like
Oh,
logos and
man.
like, like and stuff like that all the time. And so people really the myth that I get predominantly is people think of only like the really sexy projects that I work on.
Yeah.
And so much of my book is corporate work, and then also a lot of my book is, um, not design based, like, I do event planning and I do, a lot of social media management and newsletter management and stuff like that, and people don't think about that in
Yeah.
the scope of what I do, so, like but they're like, "Oh, man, just, like, logos and T-shirts all day," and I was like, I could not pay my bills if I only took logos and T-shirts. So yeah, that's a big one for me, the misconception about, like, the type of work that I do.
Oh, yeah, and I can get that too, especially since and we've talked about this before, I can't show some of my work that
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
would say the majority of the work that I'm actually doing day to day, I can't put it on my portfolio or social media.
Yeah.
So, I feel like sometimes I'm showing some of the pro bono stuff because I know I
Yeah.
can show that, sometimes I'm showing the other things, but the point is the majority of the stuff that I'm working on I actually can't show. So sometimes people don't really have a clear idea of what I do design
Right.
day to day.
Right.
And
Right.
I do think that can because people would probably think I'm just doing conference event branding all the time,
Yeah.
but that's just, I know I can show that on my social media.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. So, I get that question a lot. Alright, that was my number 1. Look, see, I didn't have to
Nice.
do my
Look,
homework, I'm doing
see, you
great.
didn't need to. You didn't
Doing
need it. You
amazing,
got
and
it.
I already have my number 2 ready. Look at
Do
me
you want to
go.
go ahead?
No, I want you to go
Okay.
next
Oh,
because
we're
we're
going to
gonna do a little
alternate. I
back and
like
forth. We're
this.
gonna do a little back and forth. Yeah,
A
go
little
ahead.
back
So,
and forth.
what's your number 2?
So my next one is that freelancing is less stressful than your typical 9 to 5 office job.
That's absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And listen, I think sometimes people who know me probably assume this because a lot of my story of why I went into freelance, and I probably paint this picture that I went to become my own boss and I went to become freelance because I was so stressed out and I needed a
Mhm.
change. The truth is, it's just a different type of stress. It's still
Mhm.
there. You still have
Yeah.
stress, but
Yeah.
it's a different level of stress. And
Yeah.
that's what I think was important for me was I wanted more control over what I stressed out
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what it is.
We could be stressed out, but we're control freaks. So as long as
That's
we're
right.
in charge of the stress, we're doing
No
great,
matter
guys.
what, I'm gonna be stressed. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to know that I put that stress upon
That's right.
myself.
We have a whole Stressita sticker for this podcast.
Yeah, how do you think we're not stressed?
Yeah, we're Stressita and Bonita and fascinating all at the
Oh,
same time. We're
man.
the package deal. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't get that. I think people just assume that I'm high strung all the time if I'm awake. So like people
That's fair.
don't yeah, they're just like, oh well, it's still Eva. My number 2 is I hear all the time, oh, so you don't have a boss, which is kind of a myth, right? Like this one's like a little like they're like, oh, you don't have to answer to anyone. I'm like, or like you
Mhm.
don't have to like tell anybody when you're going out of town. Like that's what they mean. When I don't have a boss, I'm like, no, I don't have one. I have 20, right?
Yeah,
Like I have to
it's
and those
different.
tw yeah, like those 20 people can't like deny my PTO request or whatever
Yeah.
because it's not a request, it's a notification. But so it says in the email, it's like, I'm not asking you for time off. I'm letting you know I'm not going to be here. Um, but I have like 20 bosses. I have 20 people I have to check in with. I have 20 people that my main clients that rotate. I have 20 different people that I have to touch base with regularly. So no, I
Right.
don't have one boss. I have 20 small bosses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Small
Yeah.
boss.
Small bosses. Small
Well,
bosses.
and the thing to that too, you don't have to report to someone to get it approved, but you do you almost have to do extra notifications to let them
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
because unlike when we work somewhere else, and yours was different, I know because you didn't have like a whole team of designers that could cover for you at your previous job, but, like, I had people who, if I needed to go on vacation, someone else was gonna cover for me, right? But now, if I'm taking time off, that might affect a whole project schedule because I don't have anyone else that can cover and do the design work, so I might have to put something on hold, which is why sometimes when I'm doing my project schedule ahead of time, especially right now, we're getting into planning projects over the holidays, I go ahead and ask my clients, like, "When are you taking off?" So I can go ahead and work your holiday schedule into this
Yeah.
project timeline, but that way it's not gonna get we already know what the delays are. But,
Yeah.
yeah, we have to notify a lot of people to
Yeah.
make sure we can take the time off.
About half of my corporate job, I was the only or my time in corporate, I was the only designer, and then about half the time there were other designers there, and
Yeah,
then so this definitely is like when I was the only one, but even when there were other people there, like, you have to leave your files in a way. I mean, you probably already do that because 'cause you're
'cause, yes, Eva,
yeah.
my
Uh-huh.
at any given time, anyone can take my files and work from them.
Oh, no. I mean, if you open it on my computer, everything's linked, you'll find it, it's just gonna be named funny. But, like, I'd have to put all my stuff somewhere where people can find it, like, I would write out kind of like
Sure.
a current project list to, like, let people know where stuff was. So there was still some legwork, but yeah, the big thing is like, "Oh, you don't have a boss." It's like, "No, I have 20 little bosses that I have to talk to." So,
Yep.
that was my number 2. So what's your number 3?
Number
See? Look, we're gonna
3
keep it going.
is the fact that since I became a freelancer, and I
Mhm.
realize I've done a couple of these, and I'm not saying this as don't ask me again. I'm just saying it as this is a common thing. When we're freelancers, people assume that we are more likely to take your non paying job or
Hmm.
for exposure for
Oh.
advertising
Oh.
versus getting paid for it. What I mean by
Yeah.
that is sometimes like I'll use chip rooms as an example, and I'm not this is again not a negative thing because I enjoy doing it, but I do the branding for their conference every year and I
Yeah.
kind of do it because I'm sitting on the board. But and it's great exposure. So it is an in-kind sponsorship and I do it that way. But I'll have others come up to me like, "Can you do ours? Can you do ours?" And I limit how much I will
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
pro bono for that, but the fact that, like, so many people think you'll just do everything pro bono for the exposure, and I'm like, I think I have less time now than
Oh,
I
yeah.
did previously at an office job because it is only me. I'm not just doing design. I'm also running my company. I'm doing the admin work. I'm doing accounting. I'm doing all the things. I'm the account manager now. So I have less time now to work on it. So I feel like a lot of times people just assume freelancers were the low hanging fruit of doing their free work
Yeah.
because of that, and it's just
Yeah.
not always the case. If anything, I feel like a lot of designers who are agency or in-house, sometimes they like doing it because it's just something outside of their work at the company. So don't just limit it to us freelancers. That saying all that, I really do enjoy doing the Chiprams conference. I've done it. This is the third year I've done it. I do enjoy doing it. I know Chiprams people are listening. But it's just something that I get a lot.
I don't get as much of it as I used to. I get asked to do it through my board. Actually, I don't even get I don't get it I don't get that asked of me as much as I used to. But it has been
Yeah.
like a thing throughout my career even before I was a freelancer.
Yeah.
And like unfortunately, y'all, I can't pay my mortgage and exposure. So, and it doesn't mean I'll never take a pro bono project. I'm very selective about them. It's got to be something that
Yeah.
like I'm really passionate about or like I really just want to like donate my time to because it's a good cause or like, whatever. Or it's really going to expose me to a bunch of clients, like potential new clients. I'll do it for that too.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I have gotten, I don't get that as much now, but I have gotten that a lot in the past
Yeah.
for sure. For sure. So,
Excellent. What's your
um,
number 3?
my number 3 is, that I have a rate sheet. I get asked
Oh
that
my good I get
all the
asked this
time,
all the time.
constantly. I ain't got a rate sheet, y'all, every time. I
No.
don't I don't know a single freelancer who has a rate sheet.
Okay.
Um,
I
not one.
same.
Not
No,
one?
and I don't know your take on I'm answering your question for you, but
That's fine. I
I
also have
think
notes, but go ahead.
well, I think for me, my time is my time. So, it doesn't really matter what I'm doing. It's the same rate. I'm still spending time on it. So, I don't know where this whole rate sheet factor really came in. Here's what I will charge you and that's the rate. It's one. I don't know.
Well, mine's the opposite. I don't have
Yeah?
one rate. I have a range. I have
Well,
a
yes.
range.
But, like,
I have
for
a
the person
range.
that I'm talking with, there's a rate for them.
No, no, I know that, but what people are asking me is from the jump, like when we first start talking, do I have like a rate sheet that I circulate to people?
Yeah,
Um, and no, I don't. And there's several reasons. Like number one, like my work, um, somebody asked me for a rate sheet last week. And I was like, well, I don't have one. Like, I'd really just prefer to have a conversation and like feel out the scope and kind of figure out what you need. And I have like a
yeah.
formula. And he goes, "You just sound expensive. I mean, you look expensive and not in a bad way. You just sound expensive." And I was like,
Uh,
"Well, I don't think I am." I mean, like, I
right?
don't know, maybe relative to some stuff, but the reason why I don't have a rate sheet is for several reasons. Like, number 1, the minute I put that out, it's not just going to that person. They may share it with somebody else.
Yes.
And I've been working for myself for 5.5 years now and almost 6. And when I first started, around COVID, I dropped my rates a little bit, because everybody was having kind of, a lot was happening during COVID and I was trying to drum up some business and, I was, still married at that point. So it wasn't my sole source of income. So I had some flexibility and I'd only had my business open 6 months. And so I really was interested in just trying to get people in the door. So I
Yeah,
decreased my rate for a little bit temporarily and now it's gone back up and so, like, what if you get a hold of a rate sheet during my COVID times? I've
right.
also increased my rate since then for a couple different reasons, like number 1, inflation, and number 2,
Yes.
because I'm busy and I have the client base, and so, that is a natural part of your business. So, my rates have gone up a little bit, not like, anything crazy. I think I increased 15% a couple years ago, even for existing clients, and
Yeah.
so what if that happens? So, that's part of it. What if you get an old rate? Number 2, like, I do hourly, I do flat rate, and I do retainer. So,
Yes.
I would much rather have a conversation with you. And then the person who said that to me last week, I'd mentioned later a project that I'd just done that they were familiar with. And they're like, well, how much was that? And so that I was actually comfortable with, like giving them like, well, I ended up charging about this much for the logo and all the collateral and all this kind of stuff. Because they're just trying to get a ballpark if I'm going to be in their budget. And that's
Yeah.
totally fine. Um, but yeah, so like, I just really just want to have a conversation. And then 3, like, I do have a range. Like, if you are the little neighborhood association, I'm not gonna probably charge you as much for a logo that you're not gonna make money off of versus, a bank, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think how your work is used is something to be taken into consideration. And not all creatives feel that way. Some creatives feel like my price is my price is my price, and that's perfectly fine. Like, if that's how you run your business, I get that. But I do factor in, particularly for flat rate projects, I do factor things in like, do you are you ever gonna make any money off this logo? Because if the
Right.
answer is no, and you're just recirculating money back into your neighborhood association, um, I'm probably going to like come down a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, if I think I can get a lot of exposure out of it, I might come down a little bit. So if I'm working with an agency, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Agencies have to mark up the work that I do, right? So like you got to tick that down a little bit. So,
Mhm.
um, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So I don't have a rate sheet. Please stop asking me that. Um,
Please stop
tell me
asking
what
us.
tell me what you need. Let's talk about what you need, and then I will get you a rate. And they all fall within like a $25 range of
Right.
either by the hour of each other. It might be a little bit more space in there if I really look back at it. So, but then I'll get you a rate, right? And then we'll talk about it, right?
Yep.
And so yeah, so I don't have a rate sheet. That was my number 3.
No, I love that one.
Yeah.
All right. Number
What's your
4,
number 4? Yeah, here we go.
freelancers don't have to deal with any office politics.
Yeah, right.
You
It's
know what?
worse
Eh,
because I'm at your dinner table and your parents are fighting, but I don't live here. That's
Yes.
what office politics are like as a
Yes.
freelancer. Like, this is your family, and I'm just a guest at dinner, but I still gotta
Yes.
figure out why Aunt Barbara's pissed off. Like,
I've
right? Like
had conversations with other freelancers or consultants, and we all share how so much of our job is kind of being therapists. I
Yeah.
have so
Yeah.
many clients who will vent to me about what's going on in their office, share with me their office politics and use me to vent. And
Yeah.
some part of my job is to just let them vent, hear it
Go
out. And
ahead.
I can
Go
relate.
ahead.
I used to work in an office. I know
Yeah.
how it is. But
Yeah.
like go ahead and vent on me. And it's just so yeah, we might not have our own our own coworkers that we need
I mean,
to have issues
my
with, but
dog
we
counts,
we
and we
yeah,
argue.
we hear about yours. And that's a delicate dance too, because
Yeah.
you want to be a soundboard for them and you want to be
Sure.
able to give them some feedback, give them some advice, but also you do not want to insert yourself in
Yeah.
their politics. For
Yeah.
I just don't want any of that getting back to me. I'd be like, well, we can't use Danielle anymore because she said this and this and this about so and so. Like I don't cross that line and I
Yeah.
won't.
It gets sticky real fast.
Yes.
Real fast.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. My number 4 is that I have to go cold sell myself and, like, network,
Yeah.
like, just, like, cold network and just introduce myself to people I don't know
Yeah.
and, like, hard pitch, like I'm a car salesman or something, right? Um, which is not true. Most of my work comes from people I've already worked with
Yeah.
or people who've heard of me or somebody I met at an event very organically and they later think about me. And so we talked a lot about this in one episode. So if you're interested more in this, there's like a whole episode about how networking doesn't have to be scary. Um, because people don't like, I think I said it on that episode and I'll say it again here. People work with people they like. And
Yes.
so they don't, if you like, I don't have to go and be like, "Hi, I'm Eva and I'm a graphic designer and you should give me," like, that's not, no.
No.
I go and I overshare about whatever's happened to me earlier that day, or I tell some story about how my mother almost named me Shasta, or I talk about my dog. And, and then we just have an organic conversation. And then people end up reaching
Yeah.
out to me later. Um, because, we like, had a vibe and same for me, like when I meet people and they offer a service that I don't offer, or maybe it is something similar to what I offer and I offload stuff all the time for a variety of reasons. Um, I don't necessarily like remember like, oh, yeah, like that person sells blah blah blah, and so I got to make sure to get them stuff. I'm like, oh, you know what? Our conversation was really cool. I really want to hear more about like I don't know why you're a I don't know, a Ravens fan or a Giants fan or whatever, right? Like, tell me some story, and I wanna hear more about it and how it stemmed from some family feud or something like that, and that's, like, really interesting, like, I wanna hear about
Yeah.
that, and then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I should actually, like, reach out to you when I need copywriting help or whatever," so,
Sure.
yeah, so I don't have to cold call and, like, sell myself
No.
the way I
Quite
think a lot of
frankly,
people
as an
assume.
introvert, I never would have become a freelancer if it was all based on doing cold calls. I wouldn't be able to
No.
survive if that
I
was the
mean,
case.
I'm an extrovert, but I still get real fussy with that, like, that just sounds exhausting, even for somebody like me who can talk to
Yeah.
anyone, that just
Yeah.
sounds exhausting, so,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Man.
yeah, alright,
All
that was
right,
my number
Eva.
4. What's your 5?
My last one.
Ooh.
And this is the one that irks me so bad. And I will not say
Oh.
who has asked me this, I will just
Oh,
say it's
can I
been
guess?
multiple people, and it's not even a
Oh,
question, it's a statement, and it just
oh,
irritates me so badly, especially as a woman. But it's the
what
fact
is it?
that they just assume the freelancing is risky, I'm taking a chance, and it's okay if I fail because my spouse has a job. Oh
Mm.
my
I can't
I
weigh in on that.
well, no,
Yeah.
you can't
I
because
could. I
you
mean, it was
got
different.
divorced and you are still thriving. This
Yeah.
has nothing to do with my husband's income. I have never had a situation where I'm going to feel like I need to rely on his income. That's his income. I'm doing everything for me, and I'm doing everything to support my family and to support my daughter. And so the fact that someone would just say to me, it's okay if you fail. First off, saying that to me is very, very, that's not a goal for me. It's like, I'm not thinking about failing. You don't know me if that's the case. But to say that and be like, well, you're fine. You have your safety net there. I'm like, no, I want to be, if anything, the goal has always been make more money than him. Okay. I get so frustrated, and then I have to sit there and think, "Okay, well, if I was a male, are you gonna be asking saying that same statement to me? If I was married and my wife had a job, you're gonna say, 'It's okay for you to fail.'" No. I highly doubt I would be asked or said that same statement to. It is so frustrating, and
Yeah,
I hope
I
people know not to ask me that again.
I think there's just a more tactful way to say it that
Yeah.
because like when I tell my story about how I started my business, like I talk a lot about how like I mean I started right before COVID and I really didn't make any money for a while. And I don't know that I mean it is risky because I don't have anybody here. Like there is no backup, right? If I don't make my what I need to make in a month. There was I mean having a second income was really helpful when I started my business because it gave me a runway
Yeah.
to but, like, to say I think it's how they phrase it, right? Like,
Yes.
it's not just like, "Oh, being an entrepreneur" like, if I were to say that to somebody, like, let's pretend like I'm not in my situation,
Yeah.
I would have said something along the lines of like, "Wow, like, being an entrepreneur must be, like, really fulfilling." But it's also, like, sounds really stressful because, like, it's very
Yes.
risky. Um, you know, thankfully, you're in a situation where there is a backup, although I'm sure that, like, you're still, like, highly motivated and still want it to sustain on its own. Because there's a way to acknowledge that, like, like,
Well, and that's my
your
thing.
mortgage is gonna get paid even if, like, something
Yeah.
happens this month,
I have never,
but there's
like,
better
gone
ways
out
to say
there
it.
and said like, compared it to apples. It's not apples to apples.
Mhm.
It's helpful if you are in a dual income household.
Yeah,
But to sit there and, say, "Well, it's easier for you," or "If you're okay to fail," I'm like,
that word is so
no,
weird. Multiple people have
fail.
used that verb.
Yes, it is bizarre
Ew,
to me.
that's
Bizarre.
weird.
Who says that?
Because, like, if you think too, like, let's take it out of the context of freelancers, even though, like, I know that's the whole conversation, but just
Yeah.
let's take it out of that context for just a second. Um, that would be like saying it's okay if you get fired because there's 2 incomes in your house. I
Thank
mean,
you.
sure. Sure. Like, yes, it in theory, it would be better for if there's a dual income household for somebody to lose their job versus a single income household and somebody lose
Yeah.
their job, right? Because the second person with their income does provide some amount of safety net, like, it's 2 people figuring it out, like, you probably have access to some more resources that can
Right.
bridge you over while you figure it out, right? But, like, it doesn't mean that, like, it's fine if you get fired. Like, it's
Exactly.
not fine if
I
you
think
get fired.
I think
I
it's why
don't
it
like that
frustrates me
phrasing.
so
Ew.
much because there was a point in my life where I was on unemployment, and
Yeah,
it would have really sucked if my husband was also on unemployment. That
yeah.
would have been horrible.
Very
And
hard,
yes,
yeah.
that's great that he still has an income, but that's a two-way street. If he didn't have a job, I would be the sole income, right? So
Right.
the fact that I think what really irritates me is I don't believe for a second that statement would have even been said to me if I was a male. I
Hmm,
just don't think it would be said to me, and that's what frustrates me to no end.
Probably, or that's probably centers my I would think around the assumption that men always make more money than women, and so they
Yes.
probably assume your income is smaller, which is
Yep.
not necessarily true. Huh. No, I don't I need to talk to this person and talk to them about phrasing.
I'll send them your way.
Yeah, I mean, I just like I'm just like I'm like, that's not how we say it. That's not
Yeah.
that was an inside thought, and we brought it outside, and it's okay that we brought it outside, but you gotta put clothes on it before you bring it outside.
Well,
You can't
right,
just
and another
be
person essentially it was the same
said something
statement,
similar.
and
Yeah, yeah.
they worded it differently, but they
Sure.
worded it very much as a backhanded compliment, and because
Oh,
their
so this is
situation
yeah,
was different than mine, and, like, I get again, I totally understand. It is
yeah,
it would be far harder if this was
yeah,
a single income household.
yeah,
I have always acknowledged that, but you don't need to insult me just
yeah,
because your situation's different. That's
yeah,
bizarre.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, there were times where I really didn't make a lot of money, but I'd come from, like, a full-time salaried job, so it was a transition
Yeah,
when I was married and my ex-husband's income, like, really had to supplement a lot, like, we had to figure out a lot of stuff, um, and the stakes do feel, different when there is no backup, like but I don't know, like, it's not an apples to apples comparison, like, my
exactly.
experience as a single mom I is not the same as your experience as a married
Right.
mom, and that's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay, like, you know what I mean? And so, like, I think everybody just needs to be mindful in their language, right? Like, we're just in different scenarios, and it doesn't mean that and it's not just about work, it doesn't mean that you don't have challenges working and you don't have challenges, with your business, it doesn't mean you don't have challenges as a mother, and it doesn't mean you don't have challenges, like, as a human. My challenges are just different, right? Like, even when they're
exactly.
similar, they're through a different lens because my circumstances are different. And so there's
Exactly.
ways to talk about that in a very, like, empathetic way, and language does matter, right?
Yep,
Like, I felt kinda similar when I joined the PTA at my son's school a few years ago. I was still
yeah,
married at the time, and, I joined it just, because I wanted to help out and stuff, but also, like, I thought, like, maybe I could get some business out of it, but people
sure.
assumed because I was on the PTA that my business was just, like, a cute little side thing and, like,
Oh, yeah.
wasn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, wasn't a full-time thing, and so they didn't, um, take my business seriously because they're like, "Oh, yeah, sure," and I was like, "No, no, like, this is like a thing, like a
It's
whole
a real
thing."
thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So kinda similar, I mean, like, I know it's not the exact like, look once again, look, commonality, but differences, and we can speak respectfully about it.
Wild.
Look at this. But yeah, kind of the same sentiment. You're like, "Oh, yeah, whatever, your little business." I'm like, "No, no, no." Like, I'm building, I'm an entrepreneur, like, regardless of what my husband at the time was doing.
Yes,
Um, and there's ways to be mindful about how you talk about that, right? To acknowledge
exactly.
realities, but then also, like, acknowledge the seriousness of your business.
Yes.
I have notes for them.
Okay,
Maybe I
I'll
just
send
said
them
them
to
all right
you.
now. I'll just send them with this. Your language matters, guys. Like, be
That's
careful
right.
how you say stuff. Because she's gonna complain about you on a podcast.
And now it's
Hmm.
gonna live forever. No.
It's gonna live here forever, forever and ever and ever.
Uh,
I don't have a big number 5 after that. I don't know. I don't know.
honestly, for someone who came unprepared, I've been amazed you had 4.
Hey! I'm doing great. I mean, the number one thing I was thinking about this, but it's not a myth. The number one thing that I actually get asked, so I don't know that if you wanna count this as my number 5, but or the number one thing that people say to me is, like, I could never like, about themselves, they're like, "I could never work for myself because I'm not
Yes,
self-disciplined enough." That is not a myth.
yes.
Like, this takes a tremendous amount of, like, being intrinsically motivated and a tremendous amount of discipline.
Self-discipline,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, and so that is not a myth. This is not for everybody, and it is the number one comment I get is that I could never do what you do even with the same skill set because I just don't have the discipline to work for
There's
myself.
so
So
much truth
that's a no.
to that
Yeah.
one, and
Yeah.
I say that to people too. I'm like, "Look, this life is not for everyone."
Mm.
Some people just like remote work isn't for everyone. Some people
Mhm.
need to be in an
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
Somebody
Y'all are
just
weird,
pe
but sure.
I don't know how you even survive, but I understand that that's your thing. You need
Yeah.
that. But it's
Yeah.
because they need the motivation of everyone around them, right? And so if
Yeah.
you're like that, then yeah, this whole self-employed thing might be kind of difficult for you if you can't motivate yourself to get all your tasks done.
Yeah.
If you're constantly used to your boss or an account manager reminding you, "Hey, here's everything you got to do today." Freelancing might
This is
not
not
be
for you.
for you.
This is not for you. No.
Exactly.
No. And if you thrive like in being like doing all this stuff on your own, this is good. But also like I think there's a counterpoint in that because some people who are like you and I who when we were in our corporate jobs, like we led teams. I think some people could in theory do this, but they
Yeah.
do better in leading teams. Like that's where they really just shine. And I have no problem leading teams. I mean, I've been presidents of boards and I've been people's managers and like I'm happy
Right.
to do that, but it is not something that I have to do. It's just something like it's a skill set I have. But I think some people too, this might not work for them specifically because of like the opposite end of that spectrum. Like, yeah, they can manage, but they don't want to just manage themselves. They really shine leading a
Yeah.
whole team. And so it's like it's a spectrum. We're all a spectrum. We're all a
That's
little
great.
different. But yeah, so I don't have a
Uh,
5. I have a negative 1, I guess, because it was a
well,
truth. I don't know.
I like that you ended it on a non-myth
We
on our
did
myth
great.
busting
A
episode.
myth busting. Yeah, because I
Uh,
can't I mean, like, I get asked a lot of stuff. The only other thing I get asked a lot is this isn't about freelancing. Um, People don't understand what I do. So
oh,
the
sure.
number of like calls I get that are like, we need a logo. Like, is that like part of what you do? Or
Yeah,
right?
I
Yeah,
do those.
I do a lot of 'em. We need a website, but like a real simple like 3-page. Do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that. So and that's just people outside the which like to be fair, I have so many friends who are attorneys and I don't know what flavor of attorney they
No
are.
idea.
I don't know. I know you work in a fancy building and you work at home. I know you go to
Yeah.
court and most of
Yeah,
y'all
you
don't
have
go
to
to
wear
court.
suits. That's
Yeah.
weird. No.
Yeah. I don't like it. I'm not even wearing shoes right now. It's great.
Oh, I don't think I've
Um
ever recorded in shoes except for when we used to actually go into a
Yeah.
studio.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no. So yeah, that's what I've got. I brought 4 myths and a truth
Oh,
on the
nice.
fly.
It's like
I
the
think I
game.
did good. I think I
You
did
know
good.
what? I'm also gonna just say, Eva, I think we should always record on a Friday.
Okay, fine. I was
You
flying
came in
in,
like a
man.
firecracker. It was wild. I wish you all saw it. I need to start record. I need to always get on here early and
You
just start
have it
recording.
open.
Oh, I wish you all saw.
Oh god, I was something else, and like my camera is on the side, and so I was like getting set up, and so she's just looking at the side of my face, and I'm like, I know, I'm coming, I know, and I'm like clickety clacking. Also, I think I did better on this episode, but I did notice now that we're doing video, and so I have to look off camera.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes in the episodes I talk longer now because I can't see you, and so I don't get the like visual
Oh,
to stop
yeah.
talking. And so now you're right off camera. You're right here. I can't look at you when I'm talking,
Yeah,
but
it's
I can
helpful.
see you in my
You need a visual
peripheral.
cue.
Yeah, to like remind me to shut up. Like
Yeah, stop talking, Eva. Jeez. I got that
you ain't
feedback.
the
No, I'm joking.
first you ain't the first to say it,
Eva
honey, and
talks a lot. You're gonna
you ain't gonna be
contribute
the
to the
last.
podcast,
Let me
Danielle?
tell you something. Let me
Jeez.
tell you something.
Uh,
Yeah,
oh,
I
my
mean,
earpod just fell out.
oh no. Oh no.
And
I'm gonna
that
keep
signals the end.
and yeah, now we're done. Now we're done.
Ah,
Um that's all we have for this week. I would tell y'all what we're gonna do next week, but I didn't read the content calendar, so I'm gonna let Danielle do it because I always get it wrong.
listen, she didn't even do her homework. You think she knows? I'm not even confident you know how to find the content calendar.
Oh no, I do. I have to search in my inbox for your name. It's
Oh,
a link.
man.
the link.
All right.
So what are we doing
what
next
I
week?
will share
Hey.
is I'm not going to say what we're doing next week because you're going to
Oh.
probably just tell me
I'm gonna
the
change
day
it.
before.
Hey, this
But
week we stayed. This week we stayed
did.
on
We
task.
did. I'll give you that. What I will say is we still need your freelance horror stories. Eva
Yes.
keeps wanting to say that will be the next episode. It won't. It will be our episode.
I'm just excited about Halloween.
She's so excited.
I'm
I know
just
why,
excited.
because she knows that I break out the witch hat on this
Well,
episode.
And I already have my October nails picked out. I haven't done
Ready.
them yet.
Well, then I'm going to let you all and Eva know that episode will be October 28th.
Okay.
The Tuesday before Halloween. So we
I
need your...
should write that down. Hold on.
Yeah, if you just look at the content calendar, Eva.
You're like, I wrote it down for you, actually, Eva.
So I'll take care of it for you. Don't worry. But please get your horror stories to us. You can DM us on Instagram, comment on LinkedIn, email us, info@ghostbusspodcast.com. I don't care how you get them to us, but try and get those to us by October 10th. 10/10 made it easy. And we will share those on the episode on October 28th.
Yes. So we're not gonna tell you what we're gonna do next week because Danielle has a plan, and I might undo the plan.
She will. That's why I'm not sharing.
I don't know.
All right.
Maybe. I got real hot about AI that one time, and I stand by all my statements.
As you should, Eva. As you should.
It's fine. Anyways.
All right. Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks. It's great to talk to you all.
Thanks for listening. I hope I'm just as chaotic next time as I felt today. Hope y'all liked it.
Bye.
Bye.
Remember to follow us on Instagram at Ghost Boss Podcast, and also please like and review us on your favorite podcast app.